I always ask them, if you could go back and tell your younger self something, what would you do differently? And they always say the same answer. And I ask it for that very reason, for people to hear it. And that is, they'd go bigger, faster. And so deals to finding money, to financing, to syndication, to property management, to due diligence, to building a team, to everything in between. So we have a lot of fun. And, you know, if you don't know me, I spend a lot of time on mindset, because it's my belief 80 to 90% of your success in anything is just that, your mindset and your psychology. And if it were just knowledge, there'd be a bunch of wealthy librarians and college professors out there. It's the actual do, and it's the keep doing when you get your butt kicked, which is inevitable, and you get back up and keep going. And that's the mindset and the psychology. So you have the ability to push through fear, push through any limiting beliefs you may have. Maybe you're comfortable, and the comfort zone's a warm place, but we all know nothing grows there. So, so I spend a lot of time on that. In fact, the first hour, we do nothing but goals. So we go through goals, because like Napoleon Hill says, you've got to have a burning desire. If you want anything, you've got to want it. You've got to know what it is with clarity. You've got to know why you want it. And, if you listen to my previous episode with Roger here, I went through my story, losing $50 million in 2008. And it was knowing what I wanted and why I wanted it that got me back to the success that I'm blessed to enjoy today. But, and it was mindset and psychology that had got me to have 50 million to lose. So, it's probably the biggest piece of all. I always ask them, if you could go back and tell your younger self something, what would you do differently? And they always say the same answer. And I ask it for that very reason, for people to hear it. And that is, they'd go bigger, faster. And so, but everybody starts with a house, and then a duplex, and then a 10 unit, and then a 20, and then 100. And I'm going to tell you that, and that's why I asked that question. So ease of logistically easier to manage, because everything's in one place. You can have if you get a property that's 70 units or more, then you can have on-site management and on-site maintenance. So you can have third-party property management manage them if you want, but it's just ease of management, scaling quicker, team sport, safer. If you have a house and you're empty, you're 100% vacant. If you have a 100 unit and you've got, 10 units vacant, you're only 10% vacant. And I will tell you, if there's a contraction, there have been some skinny deals done lately. And people that can't sustain some of the vacancy that could be coming, they've been experiencing. I interviewed a guy today with 5,000 doors, and he lost $1.2 million in rents last year from COVID. So listen, the beautiful thing about multifamily real estate is it's empirical, it's numbers. Okay, you get the numbers right, and you're not too aggressive, and then you ask all the right questions. And I've got I'll give you your peeps a free resource here. I've got this multifamily property toolbook, and it's 75 pages. Not a sales piece. There's nothing in here to sell, but it's every question you'd ever want to ask if you're evaluating a multifamily property. And if you text Rod to 72345, it's free. We'll give it to you. That's the beautiful thing about multifamily. If you ask all the right questions and you get the numbers right, and you're not too aggressive, it's pretty freaking hard to make a mistake. See, when the market was crashing, my apartments did just fine. If I had not cross collateralized them with packages of houses, I still have them. And so, me thinking I'm brilliant, I saved a 0.5 point in interest and refinanced into packages, including my apartments. Like I said, I still have them if I hadn't done that, because they pulled back, but they would have easily survived. And that's why I started my podcast, because again, if you're going to buy and hold, for God's sakes, do multifamily. It's easier. It's faster. That's just my opinion.
I don't have any money. I got bad credit, and I don't have any experience. I would tell them to wholesale.
I would tell them to wholesale, because that's a great way to make quick cash. And I got to tell you, consider wholesaling multifamily. I was just talking on another show today. I have 4 students that made $100,000 each on one deal wholesaling. One guy made 130. You guys, I'm sure you guys all know what wholesaling means. You put a property under contract, and then you sell that contract to an ultimate buyer. Yep. Now, what do you have to do? You have to build relationships with people that have money that can buy, right? And so you do that, and then you go out and find deals. You go direct to seller and try to find deals. And I tell all my students that they should get a menu of buyers in their market, especially if they're going direct to seller to find deals, because they're going to be deals they don't want to do, can't do, and they can make money on them. So I would tell them to wholesale if that were the case. You got no money, you got no credit, then wholesale till you have some money and build your credit. So I'm blessed that I'm becoming more and more free from what people think. And I mean, I've done the whole Lamborghini and the Rolls Royce and the Bentley and the mansion and all the stupid shit that I thought was important. And I've done all that, and I don't need to, I don't need to try to impress people anymore. I love what I do. I mean, literally on the wall behind me, you can see hundreds of thank you cards. You can't even see them behind the green screen here, because I get love like you do, I'm sure, almost daily from people whose lives have been impacted. And I mean, there's no greater gift in life.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know Candace wants to know, how long does it take you to find your first deals?
How hard are you willing to work, Candace? Sometimes you got to kiss a lot of frogs. Sometimes you get lucky too. The market is hot right now. And I will tell you, don't get too caught up in that, because the more effort you put at this, the more deals you review, the better you're going to become. You want to get to the point where you can smell if a deal's a good deal, and that's just going to come through repetition. So, you hit it hard, and you go build the relationships, and you go look at deals, and you respond to brokers when they call you back, and you're respectful and responsive. You'll have a lot of deals come across your desk, and ultimately you'll find something.
Isaac wants to know, are you saying 70 doors is the minimum to start? I know the answer to this.
70 doors is the minimum to have on site and this is subjective depending on where it's located. But if you've got 70 doors, usually you can hire an on-site manager and you can hire an on-site maintenance person. So you can literally have your staff on site and that size property will support that, making it much easier to manage. Okay. Because you've got on-site staff. That's the 70 unit. No, you can start with a 2 unit.
He added to the question, since we started talking, for having enough cash flow to afford the maintenance crews and property managers.
Yes, that's 70. Yeah. Some people will say 100, but the rents have gone up so much, I believe the number really is 70. Now, if you're in the middle of podunk, Iowa or Kansas, it might be a little more than that. But most markets, 70 is plenty.
Yeah, you can build a model you can model it through pro formas to find out what that number is really going to be on any given unit. Armand wants to know, how did you recover from $50 million in debt? What strategies did you implement to get out of that hole?
Come spend the weekend with me, and I will drill down on that. And how I recovered was reassociating with what I wanted. It's real easy to focus on what I lost, which is our natural human tendency to focus on the negative. But I had to push myself to focus on what I wanted again, and it came back much, much faster, as you can imagine. And I don't call them failures. I call them seminars. And I've had some doozies. That's the biggest one, thank God. But, I call them seminars, because it's only a failure if you don't get back up or you don't get the lesson. And I got plenty of lessons.